Hi, welcome back. Okay, so today we're looking at combining like terms to solve equations. Lesson 2.1, combining like terms to solve equations. So in this equation, I'm going to draw this line to separate our two sides of our equation. So what I want to look for is any like terms that are on the same side. So if I start over here on the left side, these terms both have an S. So they're like terms. I want to combine these and get these two together. So this is a positive 9.99s and this is a positive 7.99s. So I'm going to add these two together. They're both positive. They both have an S. So 9.99 plus 7.99s is 17.98s. I'm going to bring down my equal sign and my 53.94 on this side. Okay, so now in order to get the S by itself, to isolate the S, I'm going to, instead of multiplying like this says, I'm going to divide by 17.98. And again, whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do the same to the other. So 17.98 divided by itself is 1s, and then 53.94 divided by 17.98 is 3. Again, you could use your calculator for that part. Okay, so let's take a look at another one with decimals. Okay, so again, I'm going to draw my line down, separate my two sides of my equation, and I'm looking for like terms. Okay, so this negative 3.5y, that has a y, and this negative 6.2y. These both have a y. They are like terms, so I need to add these two together. Since they are both negative, the same sign, I'm going to add and keep the same sign. So negative 3.5 plus a negative 6.2 equals a negative 9.7y. Bring down what's left. And now instead of multiplying by negative 9.7, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 9.7 to get the y by itself. So this divided by itself is 1, and I have 1y left. And then 87.3 divided by 9.7 is 9, and it's going to be a positive 9. Two negatives when you divide equal a positive. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Another one with decimals. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. We have a negative 9.76d subtract a negative 12.81d. So these are like terms, except see this part right here, this subtracting a negative, this double negative. A double negative is actually a positive. So I'm going to change that right now. Now, this has a D, this has a D. These are both like terms. So I need to combine both of these. They're on the same side of my equal sign. So now because one is a positive and one is a negative, since the signs are different, I'm actually going to subtract and use the sign of the bigger number. So if I do 12.81 take away 9.76 after I borrow, I get 3.05, positive 3.05, because the positive number is bigger. So I have positive 3.05d, bring down what's left. And now instead of multiplying by 3.05, that's what that means, I'm going to do the inverse operation and divide both sides by 3.05. And again, you can grab your calculator for this part. So 1d left equals 2.8. 2.8. Okay, let's look at another one. This time, let's look at one with fractions. Okay, so we have 1 1/3 x plus 1/6 x equals 36. So these are my like terms. They both have an x, and they're both positive. They're both on the same side, so I need to combine those. So what I'm going to do is this mixed number I'm going to change to an improper fraction. I'm going to do 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4/3 x. I'm going to do that first, plus 1/6 x. Okay, so now in order for me to add these fractions, in order for you to add or subtract any fractions, you have to come up with common denominators. These bottom numbers are not the same. So right over here on the side, I'm going to come up with common denominators. So 4/3 plus 1/6. Okay, so I'm going to come up with a common denominator. The smallest number, the least common multiple, smallest number that 3 and 6 can both divide into is 6. So I'm going to change both bottom numbers to 6. So whatever I do here now to get 6, I went from 3 to 6. Whatever I do here, I'm going to do the same thing to the top number. So 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2, I'm going to multiply the same, would be 8. That would be my new top number. Now this bottom number didn't change. That means I multiplied by 1. So the top number is not going to change either. Now that my denominators are the same, I can now add. So the denominator stays the same, bottom number stays the same, and then I add the top. 8 plus 1 would be 9. So 9/6. So when I combine these two, I get 9/6 equals 36. Okay, so now let's finish this up. So instead of multiplying by 9/6, like this says, I'm going to divide both sides by 9/6. I'm going to divide both sides by 9/6. So 9/6 divided by 9/6 is 1x. And now this looks a little funny. 36 divided by 9/6, we normally don't write it this way. So again, let's come on over here where we have some room and rewrite this. 36 divided by, so 36 divided by 9/6. So now the rule for dividing fractions is, if I made 36 a fraction, it would be 36 over 1. And the rule for dividing fractions would be flip your second fraction and multiply. So I would multiply by the flip of this fraction, 6/9. Okay, so now you could either reduce diagonally. Actually, you could either multiply straight across and then divide. So 36 divided by 6 would give you a number, and 9 times 1, and then divide. Or you can reduce diagonally and divide that way. So I'm going to reduce diagonally. I can divide 9 into both of these numbers. So 9 goes into 9 once, and 9 divides into 36 4 times. So 4 times 6 would be 24. 24 would be my final answer. So now, let's come back up to here, and since we eventually multiplied by 6/9, I want to show you the shortcut up here. So let me take this and just show you one other step you could do. So 9/6 equals 36. So once you get down to this point, if you know that eventually the rule is flip the fraction and multiply, you could actually do that here. So we could flip this fraction and multiply both sides by 6/9. Multiply by 6/9. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 9 divided by 9 is 1. So I end up with 1x left. And then I could do the exact same thing that I just did. I could multiply straight across and then divide that. Or I could divide before. 9 goes into 9 once. 36 divided by 9 is 4. 4 times 6 would be 24. I hope that helps.